All right. I got everything going. Yeah. All right, we got the claps in.
Yeah, I might have maxed out my recording on that one right now, but it's whatever.
It came close on mine, too. That's a pretty big peak.
What's that?
That's a pretty big peak on mine.
Dude, mine's all the way.
Yeah, like
at the roof.
full line.
At the roof.
Well, now I know where to sync them.
Do you know, by the way, through Audacity, if there's a way I can look at not what was previously recorded, but like what's being... You know what I mean? Like if I can keep up with the red line as opposed to it moving forward.
It should automatically just jump to the next thing.
View. Hello. Yeah, it's not like it's like rebounding to wherever I stop.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm not too worried about that. I was just curious if so, because then I might be able to see a little bit better about what it's picking up.
Yeah.
If I'm yelling in the mic too much or whatnot.
All right.
Well, fuckers, here we are. Let's go.
Hello, listeners. It's Jay from the Middle East, joining you in with Connor and Justin, and we're here to give you something to talk about.
Yeah, we're going to start off today with today's ad sponsor. They've paid rolled this video in full, and that's going to be Robinhood. They have been working with inner city areas for the past almost 4 decades, and they are your free gentrification petition site. Robinhood has been robbing the hood since the Detroit crack crisis, and their outline is to prevent racism by removing other races from your environments.
Okay, now wait. This is interesting now. Okay, so they're gonna go through and just like whiteify your neighborhood pretty much.
Total gentrification. You can't be racist if you don't encounter other races.
Fuck. Junaid, what races do you want to live by?
Brown.
Only brown? Any kind of brown? That's pretty general.
Well, this is perfect for him.
Yeah, any kind of brown.
Because this will gentrify the brown people out of one community and put them all into his community.
Okay, Robin the Hood.
Oh, wonderful. The doctors, lawyers, and scientists that are predominantly brown, wonderful. We'll have plenty of liquor stores and convenience stores and porn and liquor shops on every corner. Whatever a doctor, a lawyer, or professional needs.
Junaid, you're forgetting about a few other like major countries that are kind of predominantly brown.
I'm talking about the brown people in America.
I'm talking about brown people all over the world. I don't discriminate like you do.
Okay, what kind of brown people are you thinking about?
South Americans.
Yeah, South Americans are wonderful.
Cool. Do you like I feel like I just need to shut my mouth now. I should be like trying to make a list of brown people.
You know what all brown people have in common?
Fuck. 2 eyes and a liver.
No, we've all been colonized.
Oh fuck. Go whites. I don't know if we should say that. Yo, for real though, I actually really weirdly, I know this is formal, but I want to start out and just thank our fucking 10 YouTube subscribers. Okay, we upped the order of magnitude this week. We went from 1. We officially got 10 subscribers on the YouTube page. We're adding zeros. I'm going to celebrate it every single time, so this time's no different than the last. And fuck
Congratulations, everyone.
Fuck y'all, you need to listen more, okay?
And that was such a smooth transition, by the way, Justin.
Yeah.
transition from what we weren't talking about anything prior to this.
I don't do smooth transitions. You need to kind of get over that.
We're starting the pod, man.
Dude, it's a podcast. I got a list of shit I gotta talk about today, and that's fucking one of them.
We should probably bring up some stuff that we lost.
Ooh, some things about our Gmail.
Well,
In
not
the
only
Discord.
that, but also I believe your friend had some questions for Jay that we have to re-ask.
I don't know if it'll be as good of a third time.
I want to see if he takes it the same way.
Is your phone a flip phone, Junaid?
No, we actually use bricks here. We write our information and stuff, who it's coming from, where it's going, and then we just throw it through one house to the next until you get to your destination. A lot of broken windows, but
it's kind of like home
you get a good workout out of it.
It's like home
Some days
hookups.
you can get 10 bricks in your house.
Yo, what if you have your neighbor on your left, okay? And I'm gonna say his name's Jerry, because that sounds like a good white boy neighbor, right?
Yeah, that's a good.
Sounds like a Jewish name, which is very unlikely.
Okay, so you got in Pakistan, you got Jerry on the left side, right? And he is trying to send a letter to your right side neighbor, Greg. You hate Greg though, because Greg's kind of a dick. His trees are kind of growing over into your yard, dropping some crab apples. Like, I don't know. He's just always got music going late at night. Like, when Jerry sends the brick to your yard and you see that it's for Greg, do you kind of just be like, fuck Greg, and keep that brick?
Oh no! See, like the rules of brick confidentiality apply. Like if it's addressed to even your worst enemy, you got to pass on the brick.
Oh, it's like the U.S. mail. Like it's a
exactly.
crime
Because
to
if you
open
you ignore one brick, and then there's another brick a couple minutes later, and then there's another brick.
Oh, and then you're just getting brick chucked.
Yeah.
So you need a free, even, uninhibited flow of bricks to keep the brick mail economy going.
Yeah, I mean, that's why ISIS started. They didn't want to share bricks.
Go on.
Yeah, they were hoarding all the bricks. It came to their house and they wouldn't pass it on.
They're like, we're keeping this for buildings and shit. You guys are just keeping this
And then
for
one
bricks.
thing led to another, and they weaponized to defend their belief that they don't have to share the bricks.
That's some heavy shit, dude.
Yeah.
I'm a little upset right now.
About as heavy as a couple of bricks.
About as heavy as a pallet of bricks. What about the pallets of bricks? Do you guys remember in the early days that were like being mysteriously found at the Black Lives Matter protests? In
do remember that.
California, and they were like showing up with these weird pallets of bricks. Do you know what they really were for? That like nobody wants to talk about, but everyone wanted to talk about them then. They were placing these pallets of bricks in places that had glass entrances that cars could drive through.
Mm-hmm.
So they were essentially a temporary, just like block from somebody driving.
Right,
through.
but
then of course that turned into
they didn't
everybody.
pallet them down or anything, so you can just pick them up.
You could just grab the brick and start throwing.
I knew a guy that took his pickup to one of those places and just took all the bricks.
Just loaded up.
Yeah, he just started collecting bricks. He was driving around town in Louisiana, just picking up free bricks everywhere that the police department would leave out.
What a fucking legend, dude. 'Cause they're leaving them there literally, and it's like everyone got all conspiratorial about it. I'm like, are they leaving these bricks out? And I'm like, nah, they were just some dumbasses who thought they were doing the right thing and left some fucking bricks sitting for some criminals.
There was like,
to throw.
plenty of better ways they could have approached it than a pallet of bricks.
ways.
Like
Some
they could have
sandbags.
put the sandbags, the actual cinder block barriers that they have, or like the tire lines.
Isn't cinder block way cheaper to make too than brick because it's literally just made out of concrete molds?
Yeah, it's just a big concrete mold.
Brick has, I think, a little bit.
I mean, if I was a protester at a BLM protest and I was angry over centuries of systemic racism against my race, and I saw these pallets of bricks, I would find a way to use them. Maybe write a letter to someone.
Oh, so do you think that's what they were doing when they were trying to throw the bricks through the windows? Is they
It's
weren't
the
actually trying
Pakistani
to
cell phone system.
vandalize the... Yes, dude. They
were
weren't trying to vandalize. They were
Call
just
your
trying
congressman.
They were trying to communicate. Did we ever look to see if any of these bricks had messages on them? I don't know if anyone did.
No.
Like, when you went into the Target and you saw plenty of bricks on the ground, did anyone, like, pick one up and see if there was a note on it that's
it's
like...
the definition of miscommunication because it goes through a Target window, but it was supposed to go to, like, Pelosi, so...
It sounds like we need to go just, like, to the U.S. Capitol and go try and force our way into the grounds and maybe into Nancy Pelosi's office so we can leave a letter on her desk for her to read personally.
Security, please. These bricks are for her. They have messages on them.
They all specifically say Nancy Pelosi. We won't
Yes.
throw them at her, we swear.
I will not address the blood on my shirt.
God damn it. Oh, boy. Yo, what do you guys think? I'm going to just total switch gears here. Because we are on a podcast. And I think it would be dumb to maybe not acknowledge is the fall of Joe Rogan coming in front of us?
I think it's about time.
I've never known, but I think it's been not by every person who watches podcasts, but I think from like 2 to 3 years ago during that time span, there was a good couple year chunk where it was kind of regarded by everyone who listened to a podcast that Joe Rogan was kind of the gold standard of how often you produce. He's a really good interviewer. I will give him that. But I think that's kind of contributed to his downfall too much in that he's a bit of a chameleon a lot of times. So he kind of takes the stance of whoever it is he is interviewing.
Yeah.
And I have a weird theory. I've heard this from another podcaster, and it's just stuck in my brain. I can't stop thinking about it. When he was like the king of podcasting in LA, there were all these actors, these scientists, anybody who's releasing a book, releasing a movie, releasing anything, they would go on these press tours. And through their press tours, they would go through Los Angeles, of course. And who's the easiest target on an LA press tour other than see if you can get on the Joe Rogan experience?
Right. Now he's in Texas.
Which is
You're not
hours
seeing
away.
it. Yeah.
Hours away. And there's no central hub for other types of people to come through. So now he is just sitting. Do we lose Jay?
We lost Junaid. But he's back.
You back? Hello?
Check.
Cool.
Yeah, he's back.
We got you. Nah, so what we were just saying is now with his move to Austin, he does not have that same guest base of a lot of different people who are a lot of different mindsets. Because it used to be that it was like liberals, conservatives, scientists, Alex Jones, you know
Right.
what I mean? Like, and everyone in between. And now, since he's been in Austin, it seems like nobody's willing. He doesn't get as many broad of a range of guests on his show,
Right.
and it's really limited it to kind of a Texas crowd. And it's the whole like I've been really kind of keeping an eye on since his move to Spotify and moving down to Texas, and he really has a lot of like Texas centric guests.
I
guests
think
on his
I
pod.
think his move. I think his move to Texas was based on a lot of financial matters
Well, it was
because in
100%
California he was
financial.
getting.
Well, no.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing whether he didn't save hundreds of millions of dollars on his $300 million Spotify contract by moving to Texas. He 100% saved so much.
Yeah,
money.
his-
But I think
His
he
his
sacrificed
quality
the
will
future.
change. Yeah.
Yeah, it's done.
No,
'Cause,
yeah,
like,
definitely. His quality changed, but I don't necessarily mean that like the people he interviewed or like the way he interviewed or the people he's interviewing has an effect on his content as much as you're mentioning. I just kind of got when I would listen to him. I listened to him 2 years ago, like often, like every day.
Right.
But his content just got so monotonous and the same. And like I hate to say it, like he would smoke weed so much, and like for a month or 2 months, he would just repeat the same ideology that he just grabbed onto
Well,
with every
it came a lot,
single.
especially when COVID came around, dude. His whole thing was just like talking shit on COVID. And I remember some of the initial episodes that brought me into the JRE experience and really got me delved into it are like Graham Hancock and Carlson Gano, who are both scientists. One's a geologist and one's an archaeologist who have decades of experience in analyzing ancient megalithic structures. And they kind of have this opinion that, around 12,000 years ago, around when every civilization talks about a mass flood in the world, whether it's Christianity, whether it's like Chinese beliefs, whether I've heard a lot of civilizations about the same time have the same story of kind of like Noah's flood. And there's a theory at that time geologically that there was an ice cap covering America that was hit with a meteor that immediately melted that entire ice cap, and that flooded the whole world, and that's how we have these stories. So it's like he was having people on like that who were talking a lot of really cool, realistic scientific shit, but kind of bringing that to how it is dealt with to us. And to me, that was always, those were the ones that I was so interested in, and that led me to listen to these other people. Yeah. Now it's like I can't sit there for 2 hours and listen to somebody.
Now he's just got talking heads on.
It's just talking heads. It's just sitting there.
And it's an echo chamber with them.
It is. That's the exact words I'm missing. It's just become such an echo chamber. For
like, even if he has a differing opinion at the start of it, the second they present their opinion, he immediately follows suit.
He's a chameleon. That's what I meant earlier when I said this earlier, is he's a chameleon. He just... In a way that worked for him, I think, for a long time, but now it's to a point where it's like you gotta kind of
there's no discourse. It's no longer like highbrow people. It's just lowbrow people, just like trying to make it easy to listen to. And I hate to say it, there is a population that will listen to that and that will still say, "Oh, Joe Rogan's the best. Oh my God, have you heard Joe Rogan? Oh my God, Joe Rogan's the best." Because he's literally just saying what everybody wants to hear.
Yes, but before that, he did a much better job in, like, 1 week it would be a liberal politician. The next week it would be someone slightly conservative. The next week it's a scientist. And the next week it's somebody just talking about water, like management. Like, I've always thought for years, I don't think this anymore, but I said for years that one of the beauties of the Joe Rogan podcast is that no matter what area you're interested in, you most likely can find somebody Joe Rogan's interviewed that's kind of parallel to that field. So whether it's geologic science, whether it's history of humans, whether it's health-based stuff, like there seemed to always be a lane that anybody could find on Joe Rogan. And now it seems like he's really, really, really fucking doubled down onto kind of just one lane. And he'll keep that lane. But I think one of the things that kept him as kind of like generally considered for a really long time, and I think you'd be lying if you said otherwise, that for probably a solid decade there, most of the 2010s, like Joe Rogan was the gold standard of podcasting. You know what I mean? And I think he's lost too much audience. I talked to somebody about this the other day, and it's like he's doing all these current shit with talking about not needing to get vaccinated and if you're just healthy and all that. And I'm like, and they were like, he's just going to be the next victim of cancel culture. And I'm like, it won't be cancel culture because he hasn't done anything crazy enough to be canceled yet. He doesn't have any, like, assault allegations.
That's one of the interesting things is that cancel culture doesn't hop on anti-vaxxers or people with, like, very drastic or, like, very mild differing opinions. It hops more on, like, the direct...
You assaulted somebody.
Right, the unarguable, even just the accusation of aggression.
Right. And that's one thing I've realized about Joe Rogan is I'm realizing that he's not going to die down. He's not going to lose it because of some major thing. I do think, though, he's about to... not fade out into obscurity, but he's about to, I'll be completely honest with you, I haven't listened to a full episode since he's went to Spotify.
Yeah.
I haven't. I don't have Spotify. I'm kind of just like, whatever. Like,
I never really listened much to him just because a lot of times when he did get those interesting people on, it felt he was not the person for them to be talking to. it was like a
Interesting.
different
Yeah.
ballpark. Because you would
But-
bring in like this scientist that would tell him something interesting like that, and a lot of times his reaction would be, "Whoa, wow."
What?
So have you ever done
And then he
DMT?
just smoked some more weed. Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah.
dude. What?
Yeah, it was just like
Yeah, but
That kind of stoner boy personality really did work out in the early podcasting days, though, because it
Yeah.
did allow you to bring in just a lot of different.
it wasn't
types of
bad, but it was
guests
just
and-
like he has nothing to add to it.
No.
And it's just kind of like
Never.
you could just find an interview with this guy somewhere probably.
His only skill, and I will still attribute this to him, and it's one thing that I will never take from him, is I do think he has a higher level interviewing skill than most people.
Yeah.
He knows
He's a little
how-
bit more intimate with it, so it's not like a talking head show, but
Yes. He's never sitting there with the piece of paper with his prepared script.
right.
Questions. He knows how to take from what you last said and to phrase a question that kind of intros into the next thing. And I think that's a unique skill. And I think
Yeah.
that's a very useful skill in something like podcasting.
But I think that he's kind of, because of that, he's really only good for a certain demographic of guests.
kind of hamstrung himself. a
Yeah.
bit.
Like, when you take these highbrow guests, like scientists and shit, that are meant for talking head interviews, it doesn't really work with him.
Do you guys remember his Bill Burr episode from like a year ago?
Vaguely.
He brought Bill Burr on early COVID and started talking to Bill Burr about COVID, and Bill Burr straight up interrupts him rudely in the middle of it and was like, "Listen here, Joe, I'm not going to talk to you, a person with no medical degree, and me, a person with no medical degree. I'm not going to sit here and have this fucking conversation about medical stuff. Like, we sound like idiots."
Bill Burr's a legend, man.
And
Shout out
Joe-
to Bill Burr,
Joe
dude. You're
Rogan-
awesome.
Joe Rogan just keeps trying to get him to go on with it, and Bill with his cigar just keeps sitting there being like,
No.
"You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Shut
Right.
up, Joe. Like, quit trying."
Just like Bill Burr says, no, I'm not gonna say that. No,
Yeah.
you don't know what you're talking about.
you literally, there's just this beautiful moment. It's a clip from the podcast, and it's just like, you literally have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, so I'm not gonna listen to you. And Joe's kind of like,
It's
sitting there
sensational
like,
news. That's the thing.
Mhm.
It was a sensational topic. It's sensational news that people throughout the whole spectrum who literally don't have medical degrees have no idea like how a virus spreads or works. They want to know like, oh, Joe Rogan said this, and then they'll be like, oh, did you listen to that Joe Rogan podcast on COVID? And then he just hopped on the bandwagon.
I was about to just say that. Do you think he's maybe trying to make up for his lack of transition to Spotify with doubling down on kind of right-wing stuff? Because a lot of right-wing people, like, once you double down on it and they double down with you, it's this, like, unstoppable force. And you're like,
Right.
all right, we're...
That's one of the reasons he's probably never going to get canceled, because he's ingrained himself in that right-wing culture, so they're going to
kind
stick
of like
up
a
for
Jordan Peterson-esque.
It's
Yeah,
it's
very much like
definitely
Jordan
it's definitely
Peterson.
strange to see his transition from like the left side. I mean, I hate using left and right because
Yeah.
each
No, I get
idea
you.
or a topic
It's
is
going to be
like
challenging
up
too,
to-
especially because
it's-
he's such a
yeah.
stoner who's now ingraining himself in an anti-stoner environment with the right if he goes in with it.
No, I think what Junaid was hitting on right there is the key. That it's such a transition from him trying to talk to scientists, trying to learn stuff, just trying to put people even in ideas out there and be
Yeah.
like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, this is a cool.
Well, if you want to
scientific
know
thing.
like how implemented the left and right ideology of the US is used in Europe, is that Germany has basically used this entire ad campaign to just label the opposition as the right and get them knocked down. Even though the opposition, who is the right, includes the LGBT community and the feminist movement of Germany, they're labeled as the right and therefore considered like Nazis.
You are absolutely right, and there's a tweet I'm going to put through here in the Discord if I can find it, from Ted Cruz, actually. And it was, he retweeted someone, and it made me laugh. Fuck, I hate that we're already getting political with this. and I'm
Red
gonna try
Dead
and-
Ted.
I'm going to try and abandon it here quick. But somebody tweeted and just was like, I know the science says that I don't need to wear my mask outside, but I don't want to be viewed as a Republican, so I keep mine on.
Mm-hmm.
Because their tweet was essentially joking on, like, I don't want to look like an anti-masker.
Right.
And Ted Cruz retweeted it with just, like, says a lot about our current state of politics, doesn't it? But it was on a subreddit called Self-Aware Wolves that I love. That is just this whole subreddit of people who are becoming like, oh, you get it now. Like, yes, Ted Cruz. Like, man, isn't it damning that they think that everyone who's not wearing a mask is this horrid Republican and nobody wants to be seen that way. Like, yeah, that is the truth right here, my bud.
It's so funny that he's so much well put together than when he was running for president. Because when he was running for president, he was like this really awkward guy. And now he's kind of like taken on this high rider, big red Tex cowboy approach to everything.
Do you think that's a PR team?
Something, but it's like if he had that kind of stance...
He's just a bandwagoner.
If he had that stance, though, when he ran, it would have been a lot better. Because, I mean, he's now, like, balls to the walls, walks in where he wants to get shit done.
He was pretty moderate in the early days in terms of his, like, conservative opinion. He was kind of seen as a little bit more centric.
It's just, like, the only thing I remember from the election times is just, like, that really awkward interview about butter. And, like, my daughter loves butter. Her first words were butter.
What?
Yeah, you don't remember.
I don't know about
They were in like some place at like a butter factory, like a dairy factory, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, I love butter. Butter's a good American pastime. You know, my daughter's first words were butter," kind of deal. It's just like, this is so fucking weird.
Oh, I found it, dude. And it's just it reminds me of like the same thing what Trump was doing with like the Goya beans.
Yeah.
Like, why are you public? What?
Yeah, but I mean, it was just this. Well, that's the thing. He did that while he was in office, but. This was like while he was trying to run. And then Donald, of course, like jumped on him too all the time and just made him look weird. I mean, the entire time he looked kind of like this sad old lady. And now he's got like this big beard and he walks around with a Texas cowboy hat.
Let's not also even like fucking ignore the fact that Trump for just months was just shitting on Cruz and his wife and just fucking destroying them, and then now Ted Cruz is just all up on his dick.
Yeah.
Fuck, I really thought I found it, and then it wasn't the one. I was really hoping so I could show it in the Discord to show to you guys, but it was literally him just being like, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to look like a Republican, and he's like, yeah, who would? Like, wait, what? Oh, here it is. So, overheard in D.C. I guess I'm vaccinated, so I don't have to wear a mask outside, but I really don't want people to think I'm a Republican. And then his response was just, speaks volumes. It's like,
that's what it is.
It does speak volumes, but not in the way you fucking think, my idiot guy.
So, there's a little bit of psychology involved in a lot of stuff lately. A big thing was with news. And how news basically accentuates the divide in our nation. When you take these talking heads or like any even debates now, debates don't work to educate.
No.
It's been proven. Because the problem is that when people go into debates, they go into debates now how they go into sports. Because similar to sports, news has been sensationalized.
Right.
In the same way as sports. The current situation of telling news is taken from the guidelines that the NFL shotcasters were doing with players.
Okay. Yep,
so if you replace the players with current events, that's what modern day news is. And because of this, people go into it with a sports mindset. They have a team that they're rooting for, a player they are rooting for, and no matter what the outcome of the game is, they are still sticking to that team and that player.
I have a couple athletes. I'll admit it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll admit it straight up. Like, I'm a LeBron James nerd fanboy, and anytime he does anything good, I'm like, yeah, fucking LeBron. I can't suck my dick. Check this out, everyone. Anytime he does something fucked up, I'm like, yeah, but you know what I mean? Like,
right.
You know,
like that's the thing. It's like when people go to a debate now, and they see the two people up, they already are going for one of them.
Right.
And it's like that thing. If LeBron went up and just shit himself in the middle of the court, the people would still be like, he's having an off day.
who fed him bad food, so
Right,
he's
that
got
kind of thing.
diarrhea out there
Right.
on the court. Like, what, where do you eat for lunch that day? Who's
Right. So
poisoning you?
even when there's like a distinct winner or loser in a debate, the people leaving, their opinions don't change. So nothing is achieved by the debate except for exciting this divide principle.
Jay, I got a weird question for you. Do you feel like that same shit happens out in Pakistan? No, I'm not trying to get
Okay,
political, but, like, is it that
So
are people that single like there's so many single issue voters in America that it's like as long as you're anti-abortion, you got the vote of half of America. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's all you need to do, is it?
okay, so I'm gonna need you to repeat what your exact question was pertaining to, because for the past 5 minutes I was hunting 2 lizards, and I got
The
'em.
lizard
We got 'em, boys.
killer! The lizard
got 'em.
killer.
So in Pakistan politics, is there a lot of like this divide of the right and left, or
Because what Connor was mentioning, I think, over the last minute or two was just that when a lot of times when politicians specifically or any two people get up to debate, everyone viewing it already has picked their side before they even watch the debate, so there's not even any sort of like true discourse because you've already kind of picked your team.
So let me first preface this by saying that Pakistan is about like 85% Muslim. So Muslim Pakistani, either were here, came over during partition, or were families that were here in Pakistan before India-Pakistan split happened.
Right.
So that really, that is like a broad unification of everyone, that are like from like this Indian, Hindi, Urdu speaking, or Punjabi that are from this area that really relate to each other. But the
So you
other
don't
like
feel like there's-
15%
you don't feel like there's
come.
as much of a divide. Everyone, because like truthfully, in any culture, the majority of like 80% of the people are kind of in that middle. You know what I mean? It's the weird 10% on either side of it that really gets blown up. But truthfully, like 80% of the population kind of lives in that more medium, moderate ground. Do you feel like that unification kind of helped unify that middle idea?
Junaid?
We lost.
Yeah,
him.
it's to food. People want answers, like all these sort of things that people want, like the real voters that they want. They just want an opportunity to work hard, and they want fairness for both genders.
Really?
Then people try to bring religion into a governing place. It's just like, oh, like this woman can go and do all this sort of stuff, inherit land, have as much land as any other male landowner. Oh, why should she get it? I'm the man of the house. That sort of thing. That sort of like thing that's more cultural. It's not even in Islam that like, oh, the woman shouldn't do this in the house or anything like that. This has just been blown up by this culture, because Islam was one of the first religions, the only religion to clearly abolish businesses, tax, and be fair. And this was 1400 years ago. But culturally, because like men just want to like envelop everything, own everything, and be like the head of the family and be protective of the family. That's what happened. And like Pakistan, unfortunately, there's been several wars in this country, and it's 70 years, mostly from India, but it's been in these drastic situations where there needs to be.
But what I'm more asking is like, when the average Pakistani person pulls up any random news channel and they're talking about something, they instantly already feel dedicated to one side of the argument without hearing it before hearing the argument.
No, a lot of people support the prime minister. But the thing is, these lockdowns after lockdowns are affecting businesses. They want to stay open, and they're kind of like lobbying against the president, against the prime minister, like, hey, let us stay open. We need to have commerce and all this sort of stuff. The economy is suffering.
In general, though, you don't think there's such a divide of kind of like left and right where there is in America, where it's like if you're slightly left or slightly right and you're seen by somebody on the slightly other side of that, it's kind of like a fuck you. You know what I mean?
No, like everybody's like mostly on the same page here that everybody should have the same rights. There should be trans rights, there should be LGBTQ rights, there definitely should be women's rights. And everybody just needs to make money, keep their bellies full, and keep a roof over their heads. But unfortunately, even with that, people struggle. People struggle a lot with that. And like the media doesn't really paint a lot of Muslim countries in like the best of light, but you need to understand that this is a different country with a different set of values and a religion that is also skewed by political activists to serve their needs, just like it is in the US. Like, one nation under God. Okay, which God? Whose God? And every man is created equal. Which men? Whose men? Follow which book? Which faith? You know, that sort of issue is applied to any country with an Abrahamic religion dominance, even a pagan god dominance, or even a Buddhist or a Hindu dominance. It's just like they have this huge, religion has a huge influence on the way people vote, even here. Because there's a lot of people that say like, oh, we just want the right to go to the mosque, but the mosque was like Friday prayer was said to cap at 50% occupancy, and that was a moment of contention and riots and protests. Like, who is the government to say I can't worship my God in a place of worship?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is officially a Taoist only podcast.
Remember when I was saying we gotta avoid the serious ones.
We're gonna wear 10-gallon hats and find Nirvana.
I gotta get it back to funny here, if I can, Junaid, for a second. What is the QAnon of Pakistan?
The QAnon of Pakistan? Wouldn't that just be like ISIS?
No. ISIS isn't in Pakistan. ISIS is disbanded and over and gone with. There are these other small groups that basically have old village lifestyle where just like tribalism, where like the men of the family make the decisions, and they're not very educated, and they go by the interpretation of Islam that suits their needs. You know?
Trump?
No, not at all. They're the sexist tribe.
People in Pakistan love Donald Trump.
I had this weird suspicion. I've had this weird suspicion because I have heard rumblings of anybody that's come from like any sort of. I don't want to get too political. I don't want to say like Pakistan has a history of communism, but I know a lot of Asia has a history of communism. And I know some of the biggest supporters in America of Donald Trump have been like Cubans, for example, who escaped communist regimes. And they're like, yeah, we might be Latin American and we might be like brown skinned, but like we fuck with Donald Trump because fuck communism. You know what I mean?
Well, that was another thing. I mean, back to what he was saying.
Let me clear that up. They love Donald Trump because of how much he's ruined America.
Oh, that's even
like it
better,
serves them right for voting on a war that wasn't justified. It serves them right for attacking Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan,
okay. Dude, this
parts of Turkmenistan, all these sort of places. It serves them right. The whole Yemen conflict, all that sort of stuff, serves them right to be like, oh, we are the white knight saviors of.
I have been trying to interrupt you to not have to list all of the countries in a serious way like we don't already know, man. Remember,
attention, all FBI agents. This is satire.
Bit light here. We don't need to list every fucking country we bombed over the last year. I know. Fucking Baraki was loving sending them fucking bombs to Yemen. I just got a history lesson. Lord Christ.
That's why people love Donald Trump here. That's because of what he did to America.
That was the easy answer. Is they love that they fucked up the perception of America.
We'd like the big white man if he He was more Taoist. We need more Buddhism in our life. Buddha wouldn't bomb Syria.
Yo, I saw pictures today, totally unrelated, of this fucking Tibetan mountain society from the year, like, 1200 BC. That's along some, like, river gorge in kind of, like, the Mesopotamia area.
Okay.
Dude! I feel really dumb now just bringing this up and having no fucking backing for it. It's crazy. There's like 400 still standing dwellings, a bunch of temples, like interconnected cave systems, and they essentially just took this like big river bend in a mountain and took like right where the river bent around this mountain peak and then just essentially like carved this whole mountain out to be a society.
I've seen those, yeah. What was it? Did you ever see that Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Yeah, a little bit.
So
Of course, it's my jam.
yeah, they actually reference some of those things. There's a place where it's like underneath a cliff in the side of the wall is like carved out this big air temple of
Right.
like the Tibetan style, because they're like the Tibetan style Buddhists. Their people are, so it's designed like their stuff.
Fuck, I want to... Oh, okay, I found it.
You found it?
It's called the Guge Kingdom. I'm so sorry if I pronounced that horribly. It's Guge.
Yeah, we live in the Guge Kingdom.
Yes, and now I'm gonna send you just Connor here.
It's where we
I
found
wonder
Nirvana.
if it's Gooch or a Hooge.
I literally am just saying, like, I have absolutely no idea.
We live in the Hooge Kingdom, and we found Nirvana, and we did not bomb Syria.
Post about it that had the best like drone shot.
Just redneck Buddhist monks. Well, I think back to, though, about how much Pakistan loves Trump. Did you ever see 90 Day Fiancé?
Yes, I have.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen the one where that like large redneck woman goes to Nigeria to try and get that like amateur Nigerian rapper?
No.
Yeah, she goes there.
I haven't seen that one. Tell us about it.
It's because she basically finds this guy who like sends her one post on Facebook or some shit, and she's like, you know, falls in love with him, but then sees that he's like sending this to other women too, and so she gets jealous and she decides to go out to Nigeria and propose to him to like lock him down to her. And she goes out. I mean, this woman is like literally a grandmother, and this is like a 20-something-year-old Nigerian guy who's honestly kind of good looking and had the potential to literally go in any direction. And she's just like, you know, I need to lock him down. And so she goes out and meets him. But as a gift, she gives him like all this Make America Great Again paraphernalia, like the hat, a shirt, a bag, like all this crap. And he's just like, this is the coolest thing ever.
He has no idea.
Yeah, it's like, this is so cool.
No way.
And he's just like, I have all this American paraphernalia now. And it's like completely over. And that's the best part about it too, is like this woman that's evidently pro-Trump is electing to go out and marry a Nigerian man to bring him back to the States.
90 Day Fiancé is just 90 Day Fiancé. I mean, like, you just mentioned Big Ed.
Oh my God,
That's
yeah.
fucking all you need to put mayonnaise in his hair.
Have you
Shout out
seen?
to all my H3 friends out there, by the way.
They found, or I guess they did like another show where they like go back to the people after it went wrong,
Yes.
and they interviewed like him and his brother, and his brother looks like the correctly made version of him.
No.
Yeah, but then they also like look at photos of them when they were like really young, and the dude used to be like a gymnast, so he was really well built. But even as this really well built guy, he didn't really have a neck.
The same way as fucking Big Ed.
Yeah, no, this is Big Ed.
That's what I mean.
He has
so
like
his brother
no.
looks the exact same.
No, the brother looks normal. The brother has a neck.
Oh,
but they looked at like an old photo of Big Ed when he used to be like a professional gymnast, and he's like this really well built guy in like a leotard, but he has no neck. It's such a weird sight.
Fucking.
Let me see if I can find this. Like...
Yo, I'm gonna random switch up here, cooking again. See if we can get it. I'm calling my homie Ron. Let's see if this motherfucker answers. We calling Ron. Holding some day.
Please leave your message for
You fucking kidding me? Right to voicemail, you motherfucker. I told you I was calling you.
So like this is what the guy used to look like.
Regular?
Yeah, but it's he still like doesn't have a neck.
That still looks way better though.
I know. And it's like because he's not as fat, it doesn't look as bad, but it still looks like he's doing this.
It still looks like
he's like shoulders up.
God damn. Well, we're losing it here, guys.
Yeah. If he was a gymnast, it might have been like an injury or years of doing gym that might have caused that.
Right. Junaid, I got a random topic for you for the meantime.
Hold up, I just got a brick through the lawn.
Oh, you got a message brick.
I didn't hear the glass shatter.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm really believing.
Well, you know, I'm sure they have a system where they just leave a window open if they're expecting something.
It doesn't need to crash into your house, man. It could go in your front lawn.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, so it doesn't actually have to like land through your window.
Close-minded
like
on my
something.
part.
Like
Yeah.
you can break it and miss it, and it's still good.
Yeah, we have a brick hole.
Oh, I got texted. I'm so cool. Oh fuck. I think. Well, I kind of scheduled like us a little phone guest today,
Okay.
and they may have thought that they needed to come over.
Oh, so he's here.
You need to like 15 minutes. to come over. I just tried to call him and he didn't respond. He's like, "Yo, I'll be there in 15 minutes."
He's probably going to have to be on the next episode then if we do one after this.
That's kind of what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. Maybe because we'll probably be just at about what coming up on.
We're at like 47 now.
Okay, Junaid, I got a couple of questions I wanted to bring up that are just fucking bullshitting. So the other day I was in the kitchen and I had a phone charger in my hand. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I was rocking gym shorts with no drawers underneath that. So just the straight, simple gym short. Get up. Walked around the kitchen, flinging this phone charger around in my hand, not paying attention. And at one point, I won't lie, I actually straight up hit my own dick real hard just as I was flipping this like phone charger thing. Right? I kind of started to think after I saw that, like, what is the historical precedent for dick covers, cups, the modern day
Oh, yeah.
athlete cup, you know what I mean? So then I started talking with my wife, like, what were samurais using to fucking keep their dicks out of the way? So, like, because to be honest with you, now I think about it, if I was a samurai, all I'm swinging for is some dude's dick. So they're gonna be so worried
It's just pure honor.
all they're going to be worried about is trying to protect their dick, and they're not going to have any good. So I'm talking about
This
this
dishonorable
with her,
man
and
just
we're
goes for
joking
my dick.
about dick protectors and all kinds of stuff. And all of a sudden, I have this flashback to high school once, playing lacrosse with Junaid.
Mm-hmm.
We're playing this other school called Pleasant Grove. We had to travel a little bit to get there. We should have won this game as fuck. It was like one of our few losses our senior year that we should have won, but a whole team went
It
out
was
and
a
played.
horrendous loss.
It
dude.
was so bad. Our coach went and made us win.
3-9.
And this team was in no way in the league of ours, but our whole team underestimated them and just partied the whole night before. And no one was ready, and they came out and just stomped us. And then after the game, our coach made us run sprints, 10 full field sprints after the game on the sideline with like the other team over celebrating and their fans. And there it is, our coach like screaming at us. But the most memorable thing I have of this game is fucking... So right when you're warming up for the games, you do passing drills and shooting drills and all this stuff to get you ready. Just like in basketball, you're doing layup lines. Mm-hmm. And in about the 5 minutes before the game, there's this tradition, they call it box and one. And it's you put your defense out there with one less guy and the offense with one more guy. And you pretty much play a half field scenario. Get your defense just ready, moving hard, get the offense ready, you know what I mean? And we're doing that drill. Coach is like, all right, guys, let's get ready for the game. Let's go over to the sideline. And there's this one guy on our team that could shoot a lacrosse ball like 100 miles an hour, which is fast as fuck. But he could not hit the goal if he threw it that hard. And I'm not talking he could miss a little bit. I'm talking missing. It's a 6 foot wide goal. He's missing by about 20 feet left. So, like, not even in the ballpark. But he can zoot it like 100 miles an hour because he's on steroids.
Rolled like a nat 20 in strength and a nat 1 in precision.
Exactly. So he's like, Coach. And Coach is like, all right, let's go get ready for the game. And he's like, Coach, one more. And the coach is like, all right, one more run. And the coach just throws the ball to this dude. And he takes this biggest, giantest wind up, and Junaid ran out.
It was my slide, by the way.
Yes.
It was my slide
So
to get him.
Junaid's the one who's responsible.
And I got him. I had my stick on him. I'm like, oh, okay,
Junaid
cool.
did everything right, and this dude ripped an underhand shot, not overhand, which we're supposed to shoot in lacrosse. He rips like this weird underhand shot. And hits Junaid in the dick from like 3 foot maybe away. Like,
Okay.
The ball might have come
Point
out
blank,
of his stick,
point blank.
like 6 inches before.
Yeah.
Hits Junaid just square in the dick, and Junaid just starts screaming and drops to the ground. And we're all like, what the fuck? And in lacrosse, as a defender, you have to wear a cup. Because there are people that are shooting at you, and you might have to kind of like step in front of it every once in a while. And
Right.
at the time, Under Armour was making these really, really dope carbon fiber cups. That were
I'm
like,
aware of those.
yeah, they were like rubber on the outside, so
Yeah.
it's a little flexible, but then still the covered carbon fiber protection. I remember Junaid coming over to the sideline and pulling out his cup that was carbon fiber that was shattered.
Wow.
And just being like, he hit my dick so hard I can't play. So now Junaid, one of our like starting players, has just been fucking hit so hard in the dick by one of our own teammates in this like last dish ever before the game, and we got out there, and I think everyone was still so confused about what happened. They scored like 6 immediate goals or something dumb right off the bat. It was like stupid amounts, and we're all just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
They got up on, it was like,
So, well,
nothing.
Listen, I didn't just get hit in the
You're
Pause,
cutting out.
Pause. Jay,
It's like
pause.
walk-
Jay, pause.
to the
Jay, pause.
sideline.
Jay, pause.
You're cutting
Jay,
out.
Pause. How many times do I have
I
to
got-
try and interrupt
He's still
you?
trying to
How
go.
long do I have to try
got
and
hit.
interrupt you?
He's still
please?
trying
Oh
to
my
go.
Junaid! Stop!
And my
Stop.
balls
Junaid?
so hard.
Junaid?
I
Junaid?
fell to the
Junaid?
ground.
Junaid?
And
Are you
then
listening? Do you even
this
have
per-
headphones in?
I wonder if it's just
Predominantly-
catching up.
Junaid?
I'm listening.
Junaid,
I
stop,
stopped a while
stop
ago.
talking. Stop. Shut up.
He stopped.
Please.
It was taking
Just
forever
stop.
to catch up because of the delay.
Damn. Holy fuck. We can't hear any of what you were just saying.
It's like
so it was just literally that whole last big thing.
The
you went into
DMV
was
scene
just,
from...
with me yelling over the top of you to try and get you to stop, and you just keep going.
Oh no, dude! I tried to stop. I stopped, and then I kept hearing you yelling at me, "Stop! Stop! 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 Stop!"
So that's when you need to
Are we
just
good now?
keep stopping.
Yeah,
Yes,
we're
I can
good.
hear you. We
You're
can
clear
hear you.
again.
So
Dude, I did.
Didn't one of your like
Stop.
nuts kind of come out of the cup too and kind of get like pinched in the fucking broken carbon fiber?
Yeah, it was terrible. I was screaming a lot of obscenities. People were very concerned, and then Coach Bratton came and he's like, "Yo, dude, you gotta shut up.
Yeah,
You gotta stop
all
swearing."
the moms are on the sideline and you're just sitting there
I was
like,
like,
fuck.
People can hear me in the houses next to the stadium, all that sort of stuff. And then I go to the bathroom.
Junaid, do you have a fan blowing into your microphone? Stop. Do you have a fan blowing into your microphone?
No.
Or are you in a bad spot? 'Cause
Oh, no.
You're really cutting out recently. You gone?
Yeah, can you hear me better now?
Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah, much better.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so yeah, I was injured. It hurt a lot. I really had no
This is
idea why
also
Chris
clear now.
Townsend ripped so hard. I have no idea why he did that.
Yeah, he could definitely. He
And-
maybe wasn't hitting hundreds,
I was
but he was
in a
definitely
lot of
hitting 90 plus.
pain. Yeah, dude, he blew Coach blew the whistle, and I'm like, all right, I'm on him. Like my stick is like on him. I'm like, cool. I'm just about to walk, my legs wide open. He rips this insane shot, like right at my cup, and like it was me, you, and Justin Anthony, who was on defense, right?
Yeah, we maybe don't need to say everyone's full names though, but that's correct.
It was Justin and
Oh, shit,
Anthony.
sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Justin Anthony.
Justin and Anthony. They're two different people.
Yeah. We're like
He had one too many people on the field, but that's okay.
that kid loves me. He won't.
Yeah,
he won't-
and so you
he won't
guys
be
were
mad to
like
hear me in his
down where you. And the thing is, I was feeling good that day, man.
Dude, I remember like you were the
Goddamn.
only one on the whole team. Like everyone was out. Like me and some other homies were all like out partying the night before. You were the one on the bus. Like, let's go, let's get it. And we're all like, dude, you need to shut up. We got hangovers right now. You're like, no, we need to smash these dudes. So then your cup busted and you fucking got schooled.
I remember
Yeah.
me, my friend, and his mom all going to Big Five to get him his football equipment. And he kept trying to like, I don't know if he was trying to make a joke or if he was serious, but she picked out the medium-sized cup for him. He's like, no, Mom, I need the large cup. Give me the large cup, kind of deal. She's just like, you don't need that. He's like, no, I need the extra large cup, kind of deal. And kept trying to argue. Turns out he actually needed the small cup. The medium cup was too big for him. But they learned like setting up for practice and stuff. The coach is just like, what the fuck are you wearing? Because it's just like his skinny legs and like a massive bulge. And he's just like, it's the cup. And it's just like, what size did you get? And he's like, I got the medium. It's like, for your height, you need the small.
You're a little dude right now, bro.
And it's like no bigger shame this man experienced than being told in front of his entire team, you need to get the small cup.
Jade, remember short days?
Oh yeah, I remember
So-
short days.
So on the lacrosse
Those
team,
were some.
there was this dumb tradition that was started. Just once a week, we'd wear shorts to practice.
Okay.
And we're talking, it became a competition to see who could rock the shortest shorts. out to practice, right?
Yeah, and the whole defense had hairy thighs,
And it
man.
was
We
just-
got
it
some
was
hairy
just the
thighs up in
defense,
here.
So it wasn't the whole team, but you're right. It was just the D unit. So all the defenders would show up one day a week just with, like, slightly covering your balls level.
Like a tier above underwear.
But dude, yes, these are pretty much we're out there. So like, at one point, I found these shorts that were like a youth extra small at a DI, and I cut the waistband and cut them almost all the way so I could like barely fit them onto my body, and I went out to practice that day. Coach B-Rat, I'll call him, fucking just looks at me and he's like, go. And I was one of the captains on the team at this point, too. So, and I'm like, what? And he's like, you are not allowed to wear those. And I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? And he's like, if you bend over, you're going to bust the seam in those shorts and you're going to be out here in your underwear. Like, now I get it as an adult. I'm
Right.
like, oh, he was trying to protect me from being a 16-year-old standing naked on some high school field. At the time, I'm like, no, come on, coach. Like, come on, man. Let's just rock him. And then at one point, the athletic director, who was the old lacrosse coach, came out and he was just like, damn, Dilly, you look like you got 2 watermelon shoved up your shorts. And to this day, I look back and I'm like, did my athletic director tell me that I had a big ass? And then when he was like seeing me in these, pretty much told me like, you can't wear short shorts anywhere because you got too big of an ass and you can't be just like.
Look, Tilly, we can't have you wear short shorts. The athletic director is just incredibly horny. He loves young boys in short shorts. We can't have you wearing them.
It's just so weird to me now as an adult. Like,
It's a private Catholic school. You have to understand.
not even religious.
Oh, really?
Not religious affiliated at all. Just a private liberal arts school that like
God.
studied Greek architecture and was showing us pictures of Greek sculptures.
We have a lot of Greeks here. They're into boys.
And they're like, damn, yeah, dude, like that ass is too fat. You gotta put some big gym shorts on. Oh, jeez.
All right, we're hitting
Dude,
about an hour now.
I stood up for you
You did.
when that happened. I was just like, hey, man. I was like, dude, coach, it's cool. Like,
You
his
sure
junk
short
is
did.
covered. If he needs to change it, we got extra shorts. We'll bring extra
I
shorts
got
for
lots
him.
of shorts
It's
in
all
my
good,
locker.
man.
Like, I got more over there, dude. Yo, fuck.
Yeah, and it yeah. What a sight to see. Long-haired Justin with short shorts. Me with my Rec Specs goggles because I wear glasses and short shorts.
Oh,
The gogs
goggles.
is a story for another day.
There he is, all early developed, hairy, stocky little boys.
I'll tell you one on the next episode because this was pretty good. I had a buddy in the swim team and we had to do a field trip. It was fucking amazing. I'll tell you that.
Good.
Next.
Good. Alrighty, boys. We're all just bullshitting here. Boys, girls, home scouts, whatever the fuck you call yourself. We actually mentioned this last time, but this dude I pay a lot of money to produce this podcast kind of fucked it all up. So it didn't make it in there. So instead we're going to mention it this time. We do have an email now, officially. I want to hear your stories for the Prepared for Nothing podcast. So I want to hear what you weren't prepared for this week. Email us at preparedfornothing@gmail.com. All one word, no spaces. Spell the word for out.
It'll be linked in the
Yeah,
description.
we'll be linking it in the description below.
And then did we want to include the Discord?
Yeah. We're also going to be opening up a Discord chat. Fuck it. So if you fuck around on Discord, throw your shit in there. I'd love to be trying to find some topics and interact with people there. So wherever you find us, whatever it is, much love. Have a good day, everyone.